Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. And in one of my recent videos where I was going through my account, a lot of people were questioning my use of Blazing Heart. They didn't understand why I didn't have Blazing Heart set. They called Blazing Heart the best rogue ability in the game. And so we're going to spend some time going through Blazing Heart, going through some testing in various different circumstances. We're going to talk about when Blazing Heart is the most powerful rogue ability in the game, and we're going to talk about when you could best utilize it. So let's go ahead and dig in. So before we get into the actual testing that I did here, we are going to talk about character stats because I think it is very important. And I think when we are talking about Blazing Heart, first we need to understand what Blazing Heart does. So Blazing Heart gives party attack plus 15% for 20 seconds. It is a 30-second cooldown, so it is a very long-lasting buff. Now, what's important to know here is that it gives party attack plus 15%, and primarily and emphasized, it gives attack plus 15%. So a lot of people will see that and they'll immediately in their minds translate that to damage plus 15%, which is not true because your attack stat is based off of both your elemental attack and your regular attack, even when you are in PvP combat. So when you take a look at my character stats, for example, we will see that the total attack of my character is about 41,000. That means I'm going to get about 6,000 attack from my Blazing Heart from my individual character. And then if I'm running a fire bow, I have about 21,550 fire attack on top of that. So essentially, I am adding 6,000 attack to a total calculated value of 60,000 attack. Now, this is without considering the fact that elemental attack could potentially be weighed at a 1.2x value. I believe that's mostly for PvE content, but you need to consider that instead of being a 15% increase in attack, it's actually going to be more like a 8 to 9% increase in attack unless you have a significantly higher attack stat. And this is going to vary depending on what your cursing is and where your gear is at. So for example, my character has had very bad luck with cursing, and an average character around my CP should probably be at about 50,000 attack and not 41,000 attack. So you're going to see rogues with more cursing benefit more from Blazing Heart than those without. So this is kind of one of the first stipulations that you want to think about with Blazing Heart is one, the attack bonus is not the direct damage bonus, as well as the fact that it's going to benefit stronger players more powerfully, or it's going to benefit players who are attacking multiple monsters. And this is one of the big things that I took away from this testing. So let's talk about the testing directly right now that I did. So we did, about 3 or 4 different variations of testing. We did most testing against human enemies. I wasn't too concerned about PvE enemies, but I did make an interesting discovery with PvE, which I think is pretty relevant. So I did 60-second tests against humans, I did 30-second tests against humans, and I did 10-second tests against humans. Now, the reason that I did it this way is because Lava Valley, particularly when we're thinking about setting Blazing Heart, is an interesting situation because you can't factor in the attack bonus of your allies, really, right? And people are going to be in different situations in Lava Valley. So, for example, if I'm a low CP rogue, setting Blazing Heart is going to be very powerful because I'm going to be able to benefit and buff the whales that are in my party. And as we've already gone over, higher CP players that are based on attack or higher attack based cursing players are going to benefit more from Blazing Heart. So if you are a lower level rogue and you are doing, Lava Valley where you are paired with whales or getting kind of pushed through Lava Valley by supporting whales, very similar to Engies, right? You are definitely going to want to set Blazing Heart. Now, if you are a high-end CP player, such as rogues who are maybe above 50,000 attack, you're going to want to set probably Blazing Heart as well, but it's going to be less about supporting your allies. It's going to be more about supporting you because you yourself are going to be the carry. And then there's this in-between batch, which is where my character is. And this is where, I mean, Rogue has a lot of problems in Lava Valley in general, but I find this is where, you know, I struggle, and this is why I don't set Blazing Heart on my Rogue in PvP, is because a lot of the times I'm the carry, but I don't have the attack because my cursing's been so bad to actually sustain being able to be the carry, right? So my CP is really high, but I don't have the attack to really benefit from Blazing Heart, but neither do my allies, because my allies are all being carried by me, right? So I'm in a situation personally in Lava Valley where I'm more focused on potentially burst damage or control than I am actually in increasing attack or killing my opponents. So these are factors that I think about, and I do want to kind of highlight the complication and the nuance between these, because I think Blazing Heart really has a situation in the middle ground in PvP where it's not the optimal build if you do not have really high attack, or if you're not being carried by higher attack players. And I think with the current way that Lava Valley matchmaking works, you're not going to get matched up consistently with an equal team, right? You're going to get paired up with a low level Engi. You're going to get paired up with, you know, people who are either extremely above you or extremely below you. And that's just kind of the way it's working right now. So I did a 60-second test against humans. It's kind of unrealistic, but I wanted to get an understanding of like Blazing Heart's damage increase against humans. So like, will Blazing Heart deal more damage against humans than if I had, say, Meteorite set instead of Blazing Heart for control? And Blazing Heart did do more damage in the 60-second duration. Blazing Heart, when I did the 30-second test of Blazing Heart versus non-Blazing Heart, it tended to be about the same. Blazing Heart eked out the lead most of the time, and so you could make the argument in like a 30-second engagement that you will want to set Blazing Heart. But the reality is Lava Valley engagements very rarely last 30 seconds. The reality in Lava Valley is you're really focused on that burst, and if you don't kill your opponent in 10 seconds, you are probably going to die yourself. So I wanted to test out 10-second burst damage with assuming that we have potentially Blazing Heart set. So at the 10-second test against human targets, they both kind of came out the same. They both kind of evened out in terms of, you know, once you factor in accuracy, this was all tested against a 107 level dummy, right? So accuracy was a factor, critical hit rates were a factor, and they both kind of evened out. So in the long run, I think you could make a case for Blazing Heart, no matter what, for Rogue PvP. But I think there is an element of control that's also important, right? There's an element of burst damage in terms of Meteorite, right? If I get my Grasping Thorn off, being able to pop off a Meteorite immediately is going to be very valuable. So that being said, you're also not factoring in party member attack bonuses. But again, with the way Lava Valley matchmaking is working, it's a little random. So for me, Blazing Heart, I haven't had a ton of success utilizing in Lava Valley. Now, where I kind of got educated here doing these tests were actually in PvE content. And I actually found in PvE, particularly when I did the single enemy 60-second test, we'll be considering equal level enemy to your own, and elemental advantage as well. Blazing Heart came out above every single time. There were a couple of times where it eked out just a little bit, but you need to consider that this is against single enemies. So if you are going to be farming PvE, you're going to be farming usually max pack monsters. You're usually going to be farming monsters that are larger in pack, particularly as you get higher level, because the pack sizes increase, right? So if you are farming in a PvE setting, I would say Blazing Heart is universally better. Now there's a caveat on all of this, and the caveat is the testing was extremely close in a lot of these situations, and my skills aren't level 10 that I tested with. Only Blazing Heart was level 10. So everything in all of these testings were so close except for the PvE testing. And I think that's an important thing to factor in here. So it's absolutely possible if you have level 10 skills in all of your skills that are set, if you potentially have a different build that maybe focuses on special skills more, for example, if you have a water bow set in your build, it's absolutely possible that Blazing Heart may not deal as much damage, right? If you're someone who's going Chronos, Milky Way, you know, some other weapon, and probably Earth Bow for special skills, or basic skills, sorry, and you're not setting the special skill bonus of the water bow, then probably Blazing Heart will do more for you. It's a tough and complicated conversation, and when I see comments that are saying Blazing Heart is just universally good, yeah, it's pretty good. It's universally good, but it's also situational. It's also dependent on your attack and your CP, where you're at, how you're matchmaking in Lava Valley. There is a lot of factors that lead to why you would set it or why you wouldn't set it. And so I think this kind of opens up that complication factor in the game. And I felt like I learned a lot from doing this testing. I felt like, you know, I'm probably going to set Blazing Heart in PvE no matter what right now. It seems to be the way to go until I get my abilities level 10. Now, a lot of my abilities are level 9 that we tested with, so, you know, be that as it may, but you never know. All right, everybody, let me know what you think down in the description down below, and I will catch you guys all next time.